You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Federa. You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Federa.
Assalamualaikum badi lamay lalu ngali kontong ngali bismillah na bitilo kibaro to jang alnal badi malum falli federe ngali kontong bi arjumola e prekarotil tang ani worola benyin sango men kono alnal badi malum falli federe to membe moy ka radio to gambe banko kan albe moy kan vibes fm le 106.1 fm mem felenting manjay kunda sate kono atol men ben jibe kan blalto internet to alning bitilo le mu ngali be kontong ngali bismillah jam mbadi ngolu bi ñaata demanding kibaro do drong mbe luntam bu ñaari mbafulal sot la men yalon ko ibe kafulam ma bi kana ka kacaake kula me yalon ko ay banko dingolu sula waketa wo koleati fitno ñomoy baliya membe Gambia Mansakunda Dr. Ismaila Sisala ministre bundame mo baraling kibaro ni choki ñolo kola anim banko kibata lalu anim kibar jannalu mbe mo fulal sot la men yalon ko lundo lukata ñin koto ibe kala molti men yalon ko be makoyla kabula ko nying da noma ka dango bondi ka kujamalu bo mole nyoto ko be tembo mento anim fananse muna karanoje mun kule fanan belari nyon kusifa kunatola anin aben na politiko manula nyamen fanalu bela karola ngamen so membe makolo kachato wole mu Omar Bale mu editor the news editor standard newspaper aning Essa Njie me political analyst andung amu PhD karandingo fananti America banko kan akeda moti malon kaka karandiro kenum University of the Gambia amba telesot la jang nyaata domandi tol nyim mofulanu kam makoy kadinka ko nyin kono ka akacha bari mbe nyaata mani fanambe modum bub sot la jam mbe follow la telephone la atelemu head of marketing ti APS International la Europe corridor nabe kacha kila kukuta le mealon ko ifana ye wole soto ya ngania ila moli men yalon ko cliano le men yalon ko wolel be Europe kono anin dunia la kotangol to bari kondalta ka ke nyamen dorong na bitiro kibaro ro mba follow la men na wole mu ka katabato jibe ke kunto kibaro la men yalon ko nga wolel soto jam mbo follow la men na wole mu kibati me yalon ko abe dending te nyin kiskis la men kibar findita aketa kiskis ti membe dending ye Gambiano lu menu nyininka ila miro la kujamal la men yalon ko be dendim banko la kola men kera seprasti ngameda sila mobe sepraso ne ata mu doku bundalti men ka mamang londo kiskisuro la anin kujamal men be ko sovelo ananyam fensifa kotangolu ito lele sovedo ke amamme kote ke Gambe banko ka wo sove kono ye Gambiano le nyininka e be lori nyamin anin fanan ila miro mum muneti badiya men be Gambia ni Senegal tema e ko Gambia din jamal beje ko sepras la nying sauver results e mayitandi wole mu ko e ko Gambia ni Senegal la badiya ninkumu abe karakilinne manam nafa be karakilinne Senegal la karola ko yaytani nyamende mo safa fonko yiri fa soto badi yalem andi ko nafa beje nyim badi yamen be Gambia ni Senegal tema e sauver nyemeten wole mu ko Gambia din jamal beje e ko ni nafa be jaabe karakiline andon anafa e menu nafa kendeke wole mu Senegal ti katambi Gambia la ko kibarolu ya itandi nyamena kibarolu ya itandi je ko atenyi nyine kel sinya foloti a lonta ko Gambia di jamale beje ela mirobe laari nyamen baadi yamen be Gambia ni Senegal tema ko kibarolu yaitandi nyamena yaitandi je ko Gambia ni Senegal nyin temben na baadi yabe tema fannani karajamale la ni nata baade mo karola baadi yani badiyani nyomo dunta nanyim banku fulanu tema o karola le ni nata tanko bunda la karola même mu security di fanabe o fanan badiyabe o karola le julani safarolu kataninna kata nyola banko kan ananyum fensi fa ko ngol nyulel keta kulti men yalon ko ye Gambia dingolu nyininka walela ela miro mu muneti wo kodo nyimbadiya me yalon ko wala be Gambia ni Senegal tema ko kibarolu yaitandi nyamena yaitandi je ko mo jamali aje ko ni nafa beje abe karakilin ne andung anafa sembo warta men la karola wala mu Senegal te nimboro do mbadi ngolu nga jibe ke kibar la membe den din kuodo fananna nyin seprase Gambia no nyininka men fananna waketa do ko bunda dantanuti men felentin Gambia banko kam sojar kunda beje anim police kunda fanan beje ela so very sol se meytan wala ko Gambia nolu ye menu kiskis wodi ye meytan wala ko banko din jamale beje e ko e jiko soto ye lanno soto banko la sojar kundato ya tani je ko elaw sauve kilongo ya tani ko molu men ye jiko soto sojar kundato wala siata wala warata fanan ka police kundari ko ya tani nyamina ya tani je ko la kisikisiro de ye menje wala mu ko nin kemela mu mo safo fanko mo tallu taworoni lulu Gambiano lu be ko ye jiko ni lanno soto na banko sojar kundato le ko kibarolu ya tani nyamina ba neji be lo ke police la karola ibajela la ko mo jamale beje mo safa fanko nin kemelemu tallulu beje le men yalon ko iko ima ela jiko banko police kundato ka sembo ma wara bake ya wala mo tallulu nin fulati kemo kono wala ko ima ela jiko ma wara banko police kundala karola ko ya tani nyamena mol men man jiko so police kundala karola bake wala sembo warata siata mol men yalon ko jikila te so la karola ko mol mene jikila te soto la karola wala siata katambi molti men yalon ko lele jiko soto la karola ko nyin sauver risol si ay tan di nyamen ko kibaru le ay tan di nyamena ni mboro do mbadi ngolum nga jibe ke kibaru do la membe den di Gambiano la men felentin Spain banko kam ya tan je ko kibar di male be findi kan itolier kadum kibaru be findi kan kay tan je ko Spain mansa kunda nyin tembe ne kabe hamotole pour ka luntang wuli keme lulu la kolu yela mandi luntangol men yalon ko iman kayti soto be Spain banko kam ilafta ka kayto sika ka dila ka je ko de stenten ka sabati la banko kam o enin kayto ko kibaru la tan nyamene ko Gambianolu da bulata o nyom banko lu kono le men yalon ko jiko be je ko lelbe imuna fanna nyi nyon kusifa la Spain man sakunda la fakamenke ko kibaru la tan nyamena ya tan je ko nyin tembenna Gambiano men nankamo be Spain banko kan ikabe mo wuli tang ani woro wala ni mo wuli mo ani lule tema ko kibaru le tan nyame Gambiano men yalan ko lebe sabatini Spain endo ko jamal be Spain la karo men ka volte ko Catalonia ko kibaru le tan nyame nay ko kono mo jamal fanam be jele men yalan ko e be jele kayti mantare bulu ya tan je fanko mol men yalan ko kayto mantra wolel bulu be Spain banko kam e ka asembo warta bakele asesiano mo wuli tantifan ko kibar kayto yaita ni nyamene ko Spain la prime minister même mu Pedro Sanchez ti atele ni nyon kankura sifa kenun commando kayta ni je ko nyine be kala tilingoti nyine be kala tonya silodi ka tamala luntangol la karola luntangol men be la banko kan kayti mantere bulu anda ko nyim fana mukuleti me alon ko abe ila banko même mu Spain ta ba fana nafala ngakata bato jibe ke kibaro do fana membe den kuma kan la men boda Musa Bah Sadi Jawara bulu ate mu Gambia dingoleti mole melon ko e ko lonnale mati menka mamang economy ning international affairs la karola même mu banku nim banku tema badi yati kibaro le tan je ko atele diamuta ka tan je ko be kala lanjuru balati banko e anda be kala nimisa kule fanante banko e ni ko e be president Yaya Jammeh la ki e be Yaya Jammeh kitindi la Gambia banko kam akukule melon ko ase fitno wulu no la se kukuton wulu no la man sakunda me yilla memma ate ñi ñong miro sata kibar kayit la kono anin sanda ñu sepay ay men ita indi sanda ñu sepala ata di yeme tan wala muka dalilo mu menti wala muka ko president ko do Jammeh hani bi ako asulobe dundine banko la politique kunda ni nata siol fanana karola siol be jele men yalon ko hani bi ya kanu le sakade boda siol mendo ando ako ni nata politique ko fanana karola ala patio fanan hani bi sulobe dundine banko ko ayatan ni nyamena ayatan je ko kambala ni ko bala kitio ni ko ba kitinde la gambe banko kam ako bina kila kole akubata tala ni kuma kan nara kabintu mo na kibaru findira ni lokun tamla no kono ko gambe man sakunda be kiti bun kutale parendi kan membe kere lola ka konti boke anin ka kitinde ke president koto jambela anin akuke nyolo mol men yalon ko ya muta fe tajrinti anin tilimbali ala karola ala maralo kono Gambia banko kam nyinin kuma ko tongolu ay wollelu sata je ay tandi je fanan ko ako neajaate ko ka jambe kitindi Gambia be kole ala le ako katu mol men ya muta jambe fenu ala maralo kono ako hani bi wollel be man sakunda kono ako wollel mu ministalti wollel mu permanent secretary wollel be na tanko bundala karola ako dalilo kambala pour que konti bo soto karola ka to nyalondi akase ke ku kolenti ko aytandi nyamenna nyinin kuma kotongula wollel sata madingolu kadabake iko kafudo ku bunda me ko International Federation of Journalists me alon ko dunia be kafubulemu me bamburke journalist wala tarinke dunia kono wollelu ye bayrike gambe masakunda be katako men ke kan Dr. Ismaila Cissé la nyatun ka koto kaje ko de ye luwa kutalu ning sarta kutalu londi banko kan membe den ning ka bantambili kiba talal ning kiba janjannal la doko tema bari fanan ka register ke arenyin social media user la mol men yalon ko katara internet oro anyim Federation of International Federation of Journalists ya ko nyim bayle ya mulun jawyandi andi ko be menu fasa kan wala mu lo dati anin lo nyaati me alon ko Gambia Press Union wala ta nyin koto mbadi ngol ni murtanan doron sina tenten ko nga faale nyamen is Essa Njie political analyst PhD student anin Omar Bah wala mun na luntawol men alon ko ni wala bina ka kachake atenyin nyomoy baliala anin fitno membe kibata bundato anin masakundato mbaɗigolu ko nga fo ñamen jannimɓe kunto kibarolu jibela nga men soto jambi ka kaca folo wala mu modum buub kontan tan sewota ka soto jang signa folo la ngamre ñina mu signa folo di mbasot la modum buub bata APS International le atele mu APS International la head of marketing to Europe APS International nal hakilo bakam wolel mu doko bundati me alon ko ito lel ben na bitilo kibaro fasa kan iben sembenten di kan jang kontantan sewora ka modu sore jang modu nsebule ni mol se nyo konton karawake ngana dun kaja kono
assalamu alaikum fali fadera abaraka bake yen sore jang nyami mbela geso fanan konton la Essa aning Omar ka foyo ko sewata bake ka katranyum programo kono namani ka ko nak aman sini ya bake bari mba kadara bake ngahus kachanin kono so ndol kan ka APS le represent bi ko ya funya men drong ndol be based in Sweden le aning UK bari ka operate in many countries in the diaspora including USA, Canada and then the whole of Europe. So ndol la main service wolen ko ka fenkole ke money transfer, you know, so nibe diaspora anu fanang electric kodosen ila family back home APS lem ila company te nyanta kamu use bari falli ngamira imang permission din na punga dun kachani konyo. So mbe bla drong I was just introducing myself.
No.
So take it up from there. Am I putting the cart before the horse?
No, not at all.
Okay, it's all right.
Chabi taku kani basa makanyaming welemu mbadi ngolu kali amu nyaming modum bublemu APS the head of marketing the Europe corridor nkontantan se woda kasoro ko afa nyaming APS kamamang koditani kodikio la Carola konka fale nyaming Gambian company lan kali aji nyaming Gambian funding ke lel ba akoma eto lel benyu ko kono koku dun taje doron Gambia abetula wala do modu nga karamata ko ali you know ali service jamal le sort a lot of products for clients mol men yalon ko be banko karo be la faka koro ki ba Gambia, you know, bari nga kalamata ko ali kukuta le soto alla faka men samanan ka korikio sonendi alla cliano le men friending dunia kono tarinke. Can you tell us more about the new product?
Abaraka fali ya ko nyami wole be kering because APS mo company le mu yalon ko watu drong nka service kuto sorale. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, service very interesting service le na apart from Kodosian drong to Gambia. anu fanan ka cash power sang. But right now, lapaka diamu savings, diaspora savings service ngamun Natalia. APS mu remittance leti, APS mu wallet leti, and APS fana mu bank quality. Bank is a bank that you can use to save. So right now, ngalon ko mo jamabe diaspora, ilapaka savings ki Gambia. Bari imalong ibe account yela la nyame because bank jamal be Gambia jani ibe account with them inyata kata ila bank quality physically the account yela je. Bari kabiri ngaje ko Gambian no sulatala pour ye account yele while they are in the Gambia nata with this initiative ko so nga fenko na fenang an initiative where we can you link our wallet and our money transfer international money transfer app and na customer the opportunity soto pour ye fenko ni yele a bank account from the diaspora. So with this bank account as Soniata Bakele, there is no hassle, there is no stress. Nakata fenko ni bebulle APS wallet, which is now available for those in the diaspora. Yala wo time mo do mulmu yala ko Gambia wo malek fenko ni soto no wallet too, because you needed a Gambian number pour your wallet ni yele. But right now nakata ibe diaspora le ibe APS use kang iman sula the Gambian number. Because normally if you are in the Gambia and you open your wallet with your number, there is a code sent to your number. So ngaje ko Gambia diaspora soul is what wallet without being in the Gambia. So iba mun kala saying just go to your APS near Central Jube iba jala ko open your own wallet. Ni wo click drunk ibela wallet to open lele very easy. You just confirm your KPI, that is your information, and then you just open your wallet as easy as that. So near wallet when you open ibe option jama jala jele option killing ko wolen ko ise ko do senno imoye ila family back home ise credit go sanno anu fanang ise cash power sanno and many more services. But one of the most important service la faka mun diamundi bi wolen ko na bank service te. So near bank service click is very easy. It will just ask you to confirm your details. Once you confirm it, then your account is open. Your savings account is open. Near open wrong, then ise kodo send from your wallet to your bank or from your APS International to your bank. It is as easy as that finally. And the the advantage with this service ko what time mo nakata ibe diaspora ila taka kodo ke ila account to ikadi ila family or somebody in the Gambia pour ayake ila account kono ngaje ko sufro man taraje anum fanang kodo ko amu felle mo yalon ko suturo kumayata bake priya so exactly. So saying is a kodo deposit no from your diaspora account to your APS IMF, that is the Islamic Microfinance, so or from your APS to your wallet. So it's as easy as that fali naketa fana ye question so le muya lon ko yefto le punga diamu dron nsafo bari fana no mangala le ko iba siala le on the screen isaje fana dul muya lon ko ye nyin garo so le isen call no let's say anytime, and then we will respond to them as soon as possible. Isaje say mako APS soto, because APS right now nkafunya mindrong is a Gambian company. Nali felpeng came with tool akata back to the country. We are employing Gambians. So unlike I don't want to even mention names, but APS is a company. We encourage you to use it so that we can support our very own country, because we are paying tax. We are supporting Gambians in the diaspora and in the Gambia. And if I tell you the number of tournaments that we are supporting right now back home, Fali, I think you will not be left with any choice but to use APS to transfer money to your parents or your family members back home. Thank you.
You need the APS pour kanyang bank account yela kodi.
That's correct. You need the APS wallet. If you are in the diaspora, you are already expected that you will have the APS money transfer app. That was the initial app we were having. So with the APS money transfer app, you have the opportunity to open an APS wallet. So near APS wallet you open, from there you can open the bank account. That's the savings account for yourself. So it's very easy and friendly. So I'm content about the number share, so that anybody who wants to get in touch with us to support you, we can definitely do it without even any hassle. And I'm happy that maybe finally we will have a special program we are on call. It will just be exclusive. Hopefully next week or anytime at your convenience. Ninata jang, with a questional answer no anu pananse inse jamal ke inshallah.
Baraka bake mbadi ngol ko ngafu nyameng wole mu mbodum bupti, head of marketing for APS Europe Corridor. kalia moy nyamen APS kukutela sama nan la cliano lebe dawda dunia kono ise bank account yele Gambia watara imo ma fa man futa Gambia banko kam andung ila kodo isa bondino ila APS wallet o kono ya dundi la bank account sutro kono mote kibar mola ema amansula fongo ya di mola aita e kodo ke je Gambia banko kanje kalia moy nyamen ko be sonata is very easy. You need to app lela ni app soto ye wallet o yele bank account soto andu men fongo nyim fongo cool be fongo sone andi wala mu ko ni sako fongo ni la wallet o soto ese kodo ki moyeno nyabiti nyaayele kono e ka bondi la app wallet o kono do ya jolo ngata mari la wallet o kono montro wati kilimo fongo bukata fongo mari se kodo soto asita ya kas bitikolto kwara kumfalto APS men soto men be janjan dim banko karobe la mbub baraka baake thank you very much indeed mbadi ngolu ko nga fa nyamin nga Essa Njie soto jang aning Omar Bah wolel mulla luntongolti kana kam makoy kachato kachame alon ko nyanta wole sot la membe dinding Gambia masakunda ni banko kibar janjam bunda tema nim murtanandoron nim gol sina sele ngadum kachato mbadi ngolu ngali konton ngali bismillah na bitilo kibaro do kotake ko ngafo nyamen wato sita puru ngana bula kacha kono kacha me alon ko nga wole kerekerali bi kacha me alon ko ning Essa Njie political analyst University of the Gambia lecturer aka karandro ke University of the Gambia ate ning Omar Bah wolel be mako la bi kachato ko ngafo nyamen Omar Bah le mu news editor di Standard newspaper Essa Njie ko ngaf nyamate mu karandi lalti University of the Gambia be karal la fala America banko kan nyin tembenna Essa ni nga terebe moy kan ne mantare je kan isela camera ta yaayele Omar kontantan se wota ngi soto jang la fake inyininka menna kadum kacha kono pour isela moy lalu mako yedoro mol men yalon ko tumando bato e mantara bulaka nyin ko no ma wara ko se filima isa fo moliye nyin nyomoy baliya membe man sakunda nin kibar janjam bundal tema abe mun tembele to nyin tembenna msafo fanko Dr. Ismaila Cissé la ministre bundale be nyin mosafo nyome baliabe itolel atella man sakunda bunda be nyin ko nyin nyaton kaya kam isafo molembe tembo men to nyin tembenna ngana bla kacha kono ela Michael be mutin mbatu
Yeah, even more can sign kodi.
More can ha.
Abaraka Fali, contenta, and friend, brother, and of course, no boss bar joining program. Nalong the program also in the bakele because I knowledge certainly, I understanding certainly of issues. So in program, I'm sure I will program di mabalt. Contenta bake kung nga fanyaming, yang invite pumfanang ng kamofay ng media regulation kola. Just for a start, nyanta min sene yandila walen journalist ol ni man sakunda mantara keleka nim problemo mu journalist ol ni Dr. Cissé la ministry anim pura le ken ndolle be ñu sabola luwala mi ya long lafta wole dundila pour que journalist ol register journalist ol dronten bari momo mi ya la ngabe mammankan information kola ñu minube do kola newspaper to radio to hani minube online hani minu ya long ika TikTok leke ilafta wol be bulandila pura la regulation auto pour pura ye regulate so comme te mi along mu journalist olti pour nga operate Gambia act pour yen recognize non sekunda yen recognize nyanta register la with pura bari problème o mi yatina manyo moy is simple nte nga story ke jele ning GPU diamuta min yalong wolle be journalist ko ma wolle ka journalist la nyantol kanta ning ministry ning fanan diamutale so no sabo min be je wolle GPU ko itol imam balang comme le media regulate but itol la worry momunti especially nga experience min so ya jamme la wato itol la worry momunti ni media la regulation di man sekunda institutional mi ya long barola ke la nyaton ko tombong alafta nyami aka bay alafta nyami iko itol that is a very serious concern pour itol fe so ilafta minna walen mi ya tara wobe kala itol lafta pour media council and power media council be jele already
Mbadingolu Omar Bah kumari fen kumari mbale makan jambara kam to ko me kolasor kan internet la karola esa I think this is a good time kete fanan dundi nanjang lafa ke nyin kamen Omar ye kacha das damendo ay fatam fansole yitandi ko Gambia kibar janjam bundal nin kibar talal nimman sakunda mandara nyola enin Dr. Ismaila Cisse lebe nyola. You want to elaborate on that? Is kono fanan duno ba?
Yeah, abaraka baken fali. I think nyin kacha kumata bakele. Andong komen Omar ya fanyameng exactly mba wala fala. I think member hearing dorom wole muko. It's very unfortunate, but journalists wala media ning a very arrogant, incompetent and lazy minister lebe nyola. Gambia Banko can sign the mengeda Ismaila Cisse. Member je wole muko ni laftanga kacha dati damendo. Wala muko banko akatama luwal ni sartole la mbe wolonne and Gambia constitution ole soto. If you look at the 1997 constitution, a right so lemuta a guarantee, including freedom of expression and freedom of the media, section 25 specifically of the constitution. Yena kotenke Gambia right now they're talking about a media bill that is currently before the National Assembly. Me anonka provisional sort of me anonko anyanta media ko regulate la Gambia. Okay? But outside Gambia, there are also international obligations Gambia mentioned. There is the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. And in Yimbe, freedom of expression guaranteed, including that of the media. So Gambia both national and international obligations lesson. Walatina niya kabiring event minister to validation. I think the lawyer from the Minister of Justice, Kisima Bitey, who is a professional, very honest guy, advised them against this Akoyoko. And can you mean someone is going to be in contradiction with Section 25 of the Constitution? And Yajibe Section 4 of the Gambian Constitution, 1997 Constitution, is telling you any of the provisions, if any law that violates any of the provisions of this constitution shall be declared null and void. So near lua dundime alonko any of the provisions wali nyu ale Gambia constitution kono woto lua nying is null and void wale muko amanya naka law amanya naka. So member keri umari komoni labanda ngamaka tano Gambia Media Council. Now let's look at it at the Hanangabo Media Council founder. Near professional GB, like the industries. You look at, for example, the medical profession as a field. There is the Medical and Dental Council of the Gambia. Now, the Medical and Dental Council of the Gambia is a statutory body established by or established under the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act of 1988 in the Gambia. Abijele clearly. Il a responsibility menti prum kaiden de ko ben research kan nim ko lale. Nangas read specifically la responsibility. The council is responsible directly married from the website of the Gambia Medical and Dental Council. They're responsible for regulating the profession and practice of media and dentistry. The council is responsible for determining the primary qualification and experience requisite for registration of medical and dental practitioners, registering medical and dental practitioners, promoting standards of professional conduct among medical and dental practitioners, advising the minister on matters relating to the practice of medicine and dentistry, and all matters relating to discipline and breaches of professional conduct of persons registered under the MDPA Act of 1988. There is an act called the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act. Momo yalanko ilafta doctoria practice la Gambia. Anunde molo na manjari ngiyotofo, including somebody in this government, in fact, a minister who claimed to be a doctor, a medical doctor, but amantara practice kanu Gambia te hanyile because the Gambia Medical and Dental Act council ni mala fenko recognize. Okay? So there is a council that regulates that clearly. Again, you come to the legal profession. There is the General Legal Council, which was established by the Legal Practitioners Act of 2016, I guess. I think it was 2016, right? Now, Legal Practitioners Act fanambejele. Momo yalon ko emu legal practitioner leti. Ibebo wole koto, wole ka regulate. So near medical profession is regulated by a council. You also have the legal profession regulated by a council. why should journalists be different? You have, and most this media council was established by this present government, under this present government in 2018, December 2018 specifically. I want to believe. Omar, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Ninga tarang ngi moy la ibe mem foka wala muko amanke problemo manke ko komen ka journalism regulate bari komen ka man sakunda la faka ko saba nyamen ka ko ke ikoto wala problemo di
exactly
ni nata loyal la carola ani doctor la carola wole taman zero be jël already wala carola woli ñanta topato la ñame bari jannim bina woto comme man sakunda se bulen fero lu menu noma laftale Omar nga tenten dumandim isaje mol sa along mo tumando bato mol men yalon ko e manyin ko keso soto wara fango sane be kafu kam makalon be tembe da men do tan yin tembenda anim fanan kolbe laari ñame Omar nga be isa ni ka kam menna
okay
be isa ni ka kam isa just 1 minute do
okay so
isa ni ka kam menna wala mu ko you made a very good decision. Ye fatam fancy bale kenum kumari bale kenum la diamo kono biri ba fokam. E ko kibata la din kibat jinjenal ni man sakunda mantara nyola ni te paski selebe nyola. Ismaila, if we can kindly elaborate on that demanding, then we can go into the threats of boycott and infanan kolbe la tembo mendo.
Abaraka Fali, even Moikane, because I think it seems me isu sodokane with my network. Malam fo even Moikane.
Yeah,
okay, Abaraka. So ngam phone walem do tolning man sakunda mang problem osoto comme generally comme ka fo man sakunda comme docteur ya interpret nyame kabra bala press conference ola because ade mi hitan ni Gambia no la je walem journalist ko ibe man sakunda boycott la man wofo docteur la ministry ngamira GPU ye wale fo comme ila events on all boycott but not the entire government. So mini tolning ministerial isunati is simple. Journalist ko ministry ko ilafta journalist regulate la comme nga fa ñami ilafta journalist register la bari pura wala be journalist register la momo be register la on the pura and regulation of fana miyalo abe journalist regulate la abe bola pura le be journalist regulate la so what document we tada no wala validate journalist balanta kata wolto except for a few media houses including GRTS media almost state media and in journalist media dol media will be la payroll letter ila contract ko yemin dino ngamira last year so ndolla isumu minti mambalang pour regulate GPU ya seneyandi la iko itol mambalang regulate la pour regulate bari laftale ni be regulate la ya tambindi through the media council so concern in the media council area walem iko legally wolmang power soto come to babol ka for nyaming even if they have teeth they cannot bite so GPU is saying go look na lonne imang sembentu ya legally but in lafta ali minke wolem ali sembentu ya seta no national assembly ali act of parliament somebody ali act of parliament yini mi yalo abe sembentu ya le semboso ye media regulate no tol man problème so do woto bari tol la problème mo minti wolem man la fi ay man sakunda la institution no mi ya long role kala kela nyaton ko tombong adel ke bay ay tol regulate ndol man la fi wala mun tol la problème oti so lafta media council regulate comme akake nyami dula do to comme na ko ba ko nyami just like right now the legal council and the medical council and others so will be independent body le so de minialo e regulate media fananko ndol fanan lafta wala na independent body so de minialo abe sembo so la loi legally who can regulate bari mambalang regulation ndol fangon ka kachalen kono ngalon ne there are issues ni momo sita jam akoy ko media issue je ay wuli afoy hanin journalism yo fo wuli afoy so there are issues or ni lafta regulate la il faut que tambini silola ite wulla dron il lafta min kala yewo ke yamira journalism fanan be wotala likely min democracy min bokulu bi mbele ya som fangala mbele contributor momo mi mantara num APRC in 2016 ye contribution okele pour jamme bo jam andum nimbe credit tala mbele batala momo mi yalong inota Gambia 2016 ye keloke fo jamme boto jam so mote wo freedom o tala ndol bul say mbalanta wala so amanke journalist oti amanke activist oti mbebe loring o lodulato ka make sure ko min freedom nga min sotonde sonna kotenge mo ya tambul docteur Cissé ka argument o minke Not a argument. How about nayen bula wo regulation auto? So ma baro jita na dictator so. Jumale alo. Ninga dictator so wo dictator. I the whole world use knowledge through pura. I journalist all suppress. So more kana jube drong because bi baro so ne atale. Baro buka journalist so arrest. Baro buka journalist so far. You know, I left a ming lala journalist all kono nyanta talale because baro buka fenge. Who knows? Maybe in the next 9 months, baro dekala president odi. Mimbe na ala jumale alo mo si pale. How about now low C5 Trajang, Luai Mini Yalong, they are very they are against democratic principles. I will Trajang, I will use media suppress. Don't make a so don't don't left them in a member regulation through the media council. It's a symbol dealer no will be a dealer many yalong empower a journalist or regulate Doctor Ndol Natale Benyola, Niman Sakunda Mantaranyola, Ndol na boycott be continue atela ministry to unless I am command the IGPU command the Kachala, and you see you call Bondinodo. And GPU ya Senayandi later named Dr. de Kachala anything about the Pura regulation. Name Dr. Lafta Kachala. Let him put something on the table regarding the media council. Now I feel like Tabuloto, GPU are willing to negotiate with him. They are willing to listen to him. Ye Kacha, ya make sure ye call Bondi Nyoto, ya make sure na move ahead because don't be left wall the media regulate na move ahead na media sort of miyalong is responsive na media sort of miyalong is responsible don't be la interest in what
Omar nyame ngamra osteneatele pour mo le men yalon ko tumando bato aka doku bundal men la kolfo men yalon ko me faham neko media council doku bundal men yalon ka be lori ne nyinte men na gambe banko kam yala doko momenti wala mu ka jibe ke banko kiba janjawoni kibarta bundala ke kontibo ka ke loi kantalati ninkumu kaje ko de ibaro lu se la loi kan to nyani tilimo finance sur la carola so Omar ning gambe pressione be men ko kan Omar ya fa yitani nyame wala mu ko ilafta man sakunda ye media council le sembentu yandi ka sembolo lebulu estaji lo doko se soniano kadu ikabe lari wala nyama doku kunda ko dekolo do men boko loyal la carola itul fana ye fansu legal council sotole ni nata doctorol fan na carola ye fansu medical council sotole so ninkumu gambe press load la men wala mu ko ilafta waleke e man lafi kiba tala ni kiba jala bundalu la loi kanto semboye tu man sakunda bulu ko Omar Bah itanika Omar Bah la fa nyini ngamena Dr. Kisela kacha I mentioned num commando with one of the radio stations Gambia banko kan ako Gambia press union abe même fole wala mo yenana ye kacha ako nin kacha mandungi tema ete nyomo enola do be je sa foko to mando ba tatul be nyim boycott men ke kan may not be the right way. What is your response to that?
Ngamira doctor is a little bit, it's been manipulative a little bit here. GPU imang balang kachala, imang balang. Ate yalon ne GPU iming fire, yalon he knows. So abe minke kan wale mkom ka journalist o limbo pay nyoka. Abe wale quote, abe wale silot. But the GPU iming fire wale mtol. Anything me along, it has to do with pura. Come nga fanyam, mtol man la fi wo kachala. Mtol te kachala water because mtol mampare pur pura. Yentol regulate GPU wale fire. That is a very clear position. So what negotiation of what? It's just like more ke kumandi kachala ya fire. Nusonda nyin sabola de bari nyin na ninjango. What ateje because tenga mirale ko nyin amang ke drone ko amang journalist all favor bari aman anin Gambia la loi fongole manta in the first place. Ngamira na broda Essa ya fule. Lawyer min bota Ministry of Justice kabrin doctor ya la presentation okay validation auto kabra pareta o lawyer diam dala munef ako nying lual ning Gambia la loi manta kamera wo kene yata just imagine ministry government institution full and yeb ben dulato kilingo e nyim fo do e nyim kilingo ko nying abete yata le avec nying ni nekela be nying kilingo ni nekela do e na ya vani nying anin loi manta so wo drum ba yitan dilele ko nyinu e mantra in the same picture ila kachal imantara nyomoy kan hani man sakunda fo ngay dol fo kono imantara nyomoy kan so nyimbe mi yitan dilan tolla and anybody mi yalong is sensible walem there is no consensus among government about this. So ning doctor ko ade ning sambanung ning kacha kata cabinet le then we ask the Minister of Justice munati na ye lawyer ki program auto mi along the same issue mi ala kacha cabinet your lawyer tata is disagreeing with that law. So you know there's a lot behind this mi along Dr. Maseneyandi pura Maseneyandi but ning muy la kelol ti tol mo flow pura ni Ministry of information. But among Mansakunda Kilote, that should be clear. Then more Jamal Diam and Mansakunda, including ministers. Many along, they are not happy with this, because they are even concerned about the fact that this is election year. This is not the right time to fight with the media. But in told journalists, although we are not seeing it that way, we are not thinking about Borough, we are not thinking about anybody. We are thinking about this country. We are thinking about this country. So, ala drone ala jare mabela somala. But in told be min fokam wallet. Lua min be kela min be journalist sol governor. Ayeke lua ti mi ala be kela lua kendoleti ibaje la momo min nata soma. Whether Barole state jam whether uskenu le wala nata wala momo le nata ay wol lua kendo kera jam ay bara wol ndol be wala kelola be kelo ke kan Gambia le. So my dingo se keno journalist solti. Esa la dingo se keno journalist solti. Baro fo dingo se keno journalist solti. Ndol be wo kelola. And journalist sol, they are not standing in vacuum. Ndol mantra manke mi yalla mi loring na side le. Gambia ndol be Gambia le jam. Min journalist sol la doko vibranta. Banko fo le ka kalamta hadama dingol muni be banko kan wol fo le ka kalamta so ndol be wo kelol ning mo man tare keleka ndol be kelo Gambia kelol la mo andu ning be pareri ne GPU be pareri ne nin docteur eta to the last dot but in the sonna pura yento regulate na force eta loi in pass then Gambia maybe few journalists will operate like that, but majority of us are not going to register with Pura. I don't think Kubela, but in the register with Pura. Doctors should understand that from the word go.
Omar, Doctor Isilandro ke ay pipiro ke ko ning kiba talal ning kiba jenjendal ko be tenten na nying nsafo da kundulo la membe ni mansa kundate ma ako mansa kunda fanamba da kundula banko kiba talal ning kiba jenjena bundalal etala ni la crossiro fota deje ni mansa kunda da kundu kiba jenjam bundala wobe mum façon ti fale tala
No, Mr. Malon for iba repeat la nole briefly.
Non ka fala ko ning with its threat to boycott the media. Comme ning atara nung ikobe da kuntundo men kala kibar janja bundala because Dr. Sise wala fala interview time nung radio do ay maitan wala muko ako ningi no ko da kuntulantol fana nam ben da kuntile so la fa ke nyin nga men ni tela faham ro fitara je. What do you understand this threat to mean? Ni kunda ko be media boycott la. What's it fudino?
No, you know, I'm not saying exactly I mean what, but the only thing maybe I mean what, well, maybe advertisement. Kakundu kana puri kana advertisement of the media. Maybe for area, but you know, media jamal let's survive to jamela watu because advertisement sort of mansakunda. So ning journalism ya dolbe mean taken person mulati number taken. Ate abe dulaminto is a privilege. Abe told beleje. Ate manyana diamula wonyama because minister ya amanke quote mi alom barole tamu Ministry of Information. Baro tante jet. Omu mansa omu Gambia la plaso le. Gambia no la plaso le mbote. So ni tebe Gambia no la ibe Gambia no be safkan. Ibuka diamu wonyama because so ma ite malom. The same doctor, wale be nun jang, be complain kan, mansakundala cool, mansakundala tamandiri, miri nyala, hani nyimbaro famo, la mansakundala, limbe guliala, esa fela ya alone, abe nun university, aning doctor lebe nunje. More than nun jang, Gambia, min critical ta, barola cola, then Dr. Sise. But be abe barole, a change ale totally. Saying aka mole attack, the same people mini ala, aning wale be nun, J, ibe fight and can make sure nimman sakunda ye tilling ye koko mi yalo nga tilinta in the interest of the Gambian people. So me min for like wallen malong ay munen min ning advertisement olem fine. They can keep their advice. It will affect the media. But what a media fall. Jamaica Rajane for 20 something years, media household be jani man fall. And they were relying on only private sector for advice. So niatara alafta media police la walla ka advertisement ol muta then the media police so that you know media yela mind change about phone ne kan media te wakala mamira any serious media le be kelo kam ibe back out la because of mansakunda bela advertisement kundula ni woke ibe minke kan walem wrong they are putting themselves on the wrong side of history because nying wala kele num baroye wala kele num in 2016 akonin nata be nyin kusi falin nale ba make sure la ya jamala tamandiri nya ba falin nale ngata tamandiri nya nata jam yalong abe aning democracy le betala aning rule of law and every other thing aning wala betala and international you know standard so ni dol ko be renege la wolte go falin na because in journalist man about certain things mini along and for nyamato if then that is their problem. I don't own a media house, but I think any other serious media house owner, including you, Fali, will not budge because the government, are going to take their adverts from you. I don't think so. The media house chief, any serious media house chief, they work. Warning standard they work. Mr. Resign from standard. I will announce it here. If they back down on this fight just because Mansakunda ko ibela advertisement will talable, I'll resign from there. There was no credibility, no defendable to the last dot.
Omar Bah ye ñininkale defana mantato nala I'm in solidarity with Gambia Press Union. Gambia Press Union lota dawda ñin kodo be bamburi koma mbe fasa la ko ñinto manyi national ko afa ñame esa la fakke ite ñininka menna Omar ye fenna fa jang me alon ka kumata bakere ako ila kiskis kono ya kalam tan ko mo malen ko be masakunda ko me alon ko imang Dr. Ismaila Sisi la ñin sim fa fasa minister bo kono ani mo ko tangol la fakke ñininka munela from a political point of view ñaji be ñeñin ko jibe kabo political la karola be politique san kono ñinan ñim abe ko kala samala nan Presa Adama Barona la Mansakunda ani fana ninga tara sila na beje mun sila na kulel beje mo se sila menna politiko la karola nyin koto ko me alon ko Dr. Ismaila Sisi bo wole dundi kam comme Omar ya fa nyamen yalon ne kibata la lin kibata jennalu they are very important ni nata ka molu ning Mansakunda lim protection sila ni nata fitno kelo sika ka dundi ni wol tem politique san kono ite amira be la politiko ma ko no la nyadi le wara ba sendi no la ko ma nyadi even do Omar fana fem foje men kumata ako e mantra nyinke kan o politiku kamba it will be so mala sankan but from a purely political point of view is this advisable?
Yeah, Mfali, okay, just to comment Omar, Bah Fenkala, just to say thank you very much for taking that position on record school. Because I'm trying to talk to journalists individually as well. Because wala kumata jang, ning journalists will sonda, media household be sonda. But ning journalists will balance individually, media household will have no choice but just to, continue the boycott, right? Whatever you call it. And it's good that Omar will, people like Omar, as professional as they are, he'll stance make very clear, ko ning media household be back down on this issue. They rather resign, to protect their integrity than to stay. But politically, in the way in Ismaila, what would be Nigeria, ala karango, nkafale nimbe ya sita class ulo kono dogon baraman karang. Because it's a political science karana. Yeta ya karan university kumul karandale. Wait at a PhD in African studies, whatever, and then you can make a mul karandi political. Knowing in a political season. Ika kelo wulindini media tema on a very trivial issue, an issue me alonko amman sakunda tora femferendina and on very clearly lual ni sarto lebilari meli alonko isa will follow no puruka nyinkoke. Already you have this information bill or whatever you call it. Omar, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the information bill or whatever, right? Before parliament. Now you have a media council, the media council, the difference between the media council and the dental council and the general legal council is, or council they established under an act, the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, the Legal Practitioners Act. But media council is established under an act. It is not established by an act. Therefore, you can go to parliament, bring a law called the Legal Media Practitioners Act, Yasama Parliament, so that the Legal Practitioners Act, sorry, the media council can also be empowered legally so that they can regulate journalism in the Gambia. And Omar Yafanyami, wallahi ni momoko ntol journalism wala media mon problem o soto je ibe fanene ne kan ntol be kajele wato do be no disrespect but kajele Omar wala tol be media konale ikam modol je kama nyame moy may ko sikadra kam journalist solti aka informational bel fo ala ka kuma kam bel fo media me anan koy man koy se fitno fon wuli ndol be ka kenole mol man training sort and all that dol be je. So Puruka media regulate wonyanta kelale but nita banko can be, and I think we will come to that. Kenya lembang, Tanzania lembang, Uganda lembang, outside, even West Africa. Regulation will be there, but Jumale will regulate, will be a media council. I think that is something we need to come to later. But politically, Niaje, Minister, as you said, some ministers in cabinet are not happy with this. Some people, not only ministers, but even people, some people close to the corridors of power. I'm reliably informed that some of them are not happy with Ismaila Lanyum move, because this is just nonsense. I made it and the Wolem Co. Ismaila just being a non-entity, Ismaila just being arrogant, Ismaila just being incompetent, Ismaila just being that lazy guy in this. And I can tell you one thing, Fali. I've worked with this man. Wallahi, this is nothing personal. But nsen kaliko Ismaila ni kaya ko ni regulation of farid la married. Because I've listened, sometimes I don't even want to listen, but I've listened to some of his arguments. Ni la moya la kende ke kalon ko nyimman nyim fango read pour ka understand. And I can bet, give him another 48 hours. Ya fa ko murna nga nyim fanga married. The guy is just good at bringing lofty ideas, but in terms of doing the job, he's damn lazy. He cannot do it. Hani ka karam fanga because on ka read. Kabirate tata la PhD sort of Ismaila taught me. You understand? I worked with him. Initially, this guy, Nadia, don't be academia konale. Nimmo karid Nadia mude kalone. Ismaila used to read. No, kanale doro, kanale.
I wanted to understand. Ning atara coming. Nafate nying ko kunna to la mansa kundae. Anim fanang Rix Beje kanyi nyong kusi fa dundi samba na banko kang politics sang kono. Ete amira masakunda wara doka sisi hamu muneti. What is it? The guy doesn't read. That's one. Because naka read, anyanda lunaloko all these medical dental practitioners act, the legal council, and even outside the Gambia. And in Gambia, the international and national obligations, yemel sorolua la karola. Anyanda nyulube understand. But abetata nata is just arrogance. And the guy is doing this just to make Ateamira kwa kabarole please. That what we are going to do is to regulate the media, control them, so that we suppress. At the end of the day, nka dictatorship memborunum. Ismaila he's dictatorial, he's arrogant. I mean, at some point, I'm sorry, but kulubali ala bala karola. I just have to say this. You just have to. No. Excuse my language. But I don't care. I can be on record for that. You understand? So, yalong membeji. Ala arrogance, abawole itande kan Gambian and Gambians. Mfali, yalon molo kanyi kome Omar be memfokam. Gambian to bota kule kono. Gambia for the space to me alon ko o maslaha nyanta bola karo nte fenkala auto. We cannot be exercising maslaha all the time. Ismaila le sita jang mansakunda kaja firite jama menka kaja firo menkela. Ismaila nadum government be with all the nonsense that is happening that he is doing in government. Even na kumasori memvole puru kamul Burundi back to that dictatorship. This was something Yahya Jammeh started in 2002. He attempted. I'ma work no. In 2016, he came again. I'ma work no. Now you want to get us back, take us back to the same. And make yalo menkanang kamfaji. This was the guy Kabira Benung off camera. Eka foduma ko wamalola de bugas and boycott. As a hypocrite, kata si Peter Gomez la program to eka fumolo ko boycott is not the solution. Ko boycott nga de buga. And then again, he can have a malafi boycott la. Boycott is not the solution. The other thing is the man wala nankafa kadia mula beke la moya fanna. When he was talking at that press conference, ako sudeli moy boycott lenma. Okay, man, I prefer quality to quantity. In fact, listen, quantity deals with numbers. I prefer quality to quantity. I rather have 8 media houses than to have media house in your hamne soon probably say or post 2 likes or 2. You said you don't care about quality, you care about quantity. So Omar Bah can have a media house or whatever. When Omar Bah posts something of quality, but maybe only 2 people or 3 people will like it or comment. But Essa Njie being there and memfonka kufuringo wala ka sembo sort of back it on the media. In that post day, somebody can come and just like it. People or 2 people or 3, if 10 people or 15 people or 20 people or 100 can come and like it. That doesn't mean that my work is more of a quality than Omar Bah. So this is the same man who's telling us that you don't care about quantity, but you care about quality. At the same time, you are making reference to only 2 comments or 2 likes for a post by the media house. And again, at a media house on Melifo, GRTS wall, nothing personal. Jumalka GRTS from Jibe. Nobody even knows that they even have a Facebook page. Many people don't even know. So eka GRTS on a media house on Melianonco, ebela payroll idabo 40 million lel kono. Wole multi-million ko wolle te boycott la. I can tell you that for free.
And the GPU...
No, men fa obeje esa, ning atara come media hasu la kuolu me dew, ani mol men yalon ko e katara online ka diamu. Why do you want to regulate them? Niaje be lafering ke regulate kalo la kuola, kule beje la kuoto me ye dew. But Omar, I want
to just to complete this. Just to complete this. This is not...
I will come back to you. I will definitely come back to you.
This is not in the interest of Barrow in this election year, because Barrow ka both men are willing infrastructural development. You need the media to show that. So why are you coming at this crucial stage? Already mess member create come. This Usainu Bojan case, the economic hardship in the Gambia, and Gambia is going to get harder in the next 2-3 months because of this conflict that is in the Middle East. It is not doing any political good to Barrow, damage. Because if you boycott the media, it's a media boycott. As Omar said, time media will survive the journey. For your newspaper will survive the men konaja will call at a film beti. Ikela Stafford Jola Keta Nyaunya. Sako sign on newspaper, online. It be Jumala control online. People are making their money using YouTube, using Facebook, monetization. So it be Jumala Banuela ila chicken chain like a Mendy as contract or advert. Yeah, miracle, those people will suffer. At the end of the day, Barole be suffer, and if he's not careful, this is going to lead to his political downfall or electoral defeat.
Omar, you talked about something really important that lafa ngameng jibe demanding ko ite kundingo ibe lorin damento ibe bambandi walato andu imanta jijale noto anding ila doku bunda tumando bata ninga tara ito lafa ka kuke ipareta lafa ngo komeng ila doku e foala bari lafa ke nyinin ka menna kibati jam bundalu kibatala ning kiba journalist men yalon ko wolle be gambe banko kam ibe nyomo be da mawol temala bang nyin koto bang fo tumando bata mo safo no ko kambe mbalia be jele because nga kibaro men soto no wala ko gambe press union ila whatsapp group o ko modol fango delete ila whatsapp group o konole fo journalist olo me nyin nga kam men wala ko fo journalist olo bebe kambe nding ibe bamburi nyoko mala bang nyin koto kaji ko de yellow yaje ko Dr. Cissé lafta men na kana soto. Ibe mute in the koreke, Omar. Hold on, just do it again.
I can't hear you, Omar.
Omar, mantre mo ikande. Hello?
Omar, this.
Omar, network ko be jaran kayala la koteke. But Essa, I want to continue with you. Nga jibe ke dalilo la men yalon ko, you know, tumando ba to Dr. Ismail Cissé wala be mutari nga bulu because if I have to be honest with you nimbe to nya fala ntenga la interview la moy la men ke comme nga fa nyame. Bari alo interview fongo I to confuse school to nimbe to nya fala because I dalilo menu foko wolel be nyim policy ke koma. Membo ko ka mol men ka monetization ke ka jiko yewolo kondibo killing ana rafla nyawo mem fo nabala wole mu ako mu fen kote ke maybe ka journalist register ise wolu be keno le watare manyin ko sama na banko kam because ning namo kolem kodi kolem doku bundal men bebe gambe banko ke be nyanta namo jola nim fe fe register da gambe banko kam e ka namo jola man sakunda buka contract di mola ni man clearance from Gambia Press Union ni man register with Ministry of Justice so la fa ke nyinga men in short wole mu how much of this is really about government wanting to regulate a problem that does not exist and how much of it is about Dr. Ismail Cissé just trying to bulldoze his way through with his own ideas.
So remember, Jefali, as you are just confused about this whole thing, more be confused because yalo nato nunko, yeah, isule jamia nunko isafo nunko. Okay, there's a rationale behind this. Let's say, for example, there was no media council in the Gambia. One could argue that well, there's need for regulation. Okay, I mean, even with that, no, but why not allow media council someone as aka operate bank dolo kanyame? For example, you go to Kenya, there's the Media Council of Kenya. Okay, MCK, and they are empowered. In fact, it told Tabenyameng, they have the Media Council Act. It only they don't necessarily have the Media Practitioners Act. They have the Media Council Act. Okay, you go to Uganda, for example, because I am told, I'm not sure whether that is true, but I am told whether Pura or the ministry cited Uganda and Tanzania as examples. But that's a lie, if that is what they said. You go to Uganda, you have the Media Council of Uganda. Okay, you go to Tanzania, you have the Media Council of Tanzania. In fact, Tanzania Media Council has a specific committee called the Ethics Committee. Mayor Lonko looks into issues of integrity and professionalism or professional conduct by journalists. Okay, so will be certainly. You go to Kenya, is the same thing, and many other countries, especially those cases, democracy. But let's even say, let's even just agree, okay, Tanzania, Uganda will be more sort of, young style sort of. But are those even best examples? Most men side no. Is Uganda even a best example for us? Is it a good model for us? Uganda with a despot who has been there since 1986 in power?
Almost 40 years.
40 years exactly. You go to exactly who has turned his government into a family enterprise. You go to Tanzania, for example, this lady who just won election decided to, deliberately, kick out opponents from the electoral race and won the elections with a landslide victory. For one example, why do we even have to take examples of countries with negative models? Until become in a situation this could be a model for other countries to learn. So Ismail Amembeji coming out for Nyame. Nobody can tell what is the rationale behind this. So coming out for Nyame, he's arrogant. And I will go ahead and do whatever I want to do. So me, journalists should be prepared. Media houses should be prepared. Media owners should be prepared to continue this battle. And this is not a fight between the Maria Fanyameng, media house or journalists and the government of Barrow. This is Ismail. Ismaila is destroying his politics in December, his election, in December, even sitting comfortably just because you think you are incumbent, you can especially the media. You cannot go to war with the media. So at the end of the day, look at even the press conference, Kununko. You know what a state minister. A whole country. This is not the first time Ismaila talking like this. Diaspora started their campaign no to tata. A state minister talking in that manner, so Mota Fonole B, Hano Omar cannot even tell you Munana Ismaila Ben Samakana. And finally, one point, I engage with some of these GPU people. You go cabring Ismaila any idea from someone in the first place. I think that in our please, this is a non-starter. Can I samana? At the front according to what I'm gathered, well, okay, that's fine. We are not going ahead with this. All of a sudden, we are going ahead with this. So at the end of the day, Ismaila Ben Cake and Danilo Menkama, Wallahi, Father Mame Alonde. Because come here for Yameng, rationale for the genuine one mensa for Mosa for Nomenako. Well, at least this is something that we can use because you cannot have the government regulating the media. Imagine Memphon Kamfa Kawaraje, Mirala. I was watching Mustafa Dabola program Kunungan Kerfado, and Madiwal. The architect of Omelia Lonko, they sustain the dictatorship in the Gambia. People like Njoguba, nothing personal. Well, let's see Jang. Yen dictatorship muta ya balun de Gambia. Dika wala samana walkatake director of Purity. Omar Bah as a journalist may along fought Purukaje ko 20 media freedom in Gambia. Wait as in Joguba nyala Joguba ka regulate ka fa ko be register wala register. That is an insult to the media. And wala na momanya na kasawala. It doesn't make sense absolutely.
But Essa, la fa kenyi ninka menna watu tumomen fon ye watu men fon tombong kanyin how much of this is about politics? Is it about coming kajeko barona la molu politics ye media nyumfananta ye regulate ye symbole ka ye kolkole and folla bangola ye nake multi mansakunda fasala. How much of this is about that?
It could be from that angle. Maybe atebe miracle, but not on Jibe come from that angle. Okay, I wouldn't even call it regulate, but control. Let's control the media. Nga make sure ko nga determine jumala be register la. Nita ko ibo kela because ya jero ko media fan, there are media houses that are very critical of the government, right? And they don't only give information, but they also bring critical information pour more be aware la kol melen ko more melon no. Ni ajibe of recent maybe me member ko kono. The audit report sol melka finti. Bi ne kel fatu jibe for example, and Standard newspaper and others, they communicate ka serialize. They will come say auditors raise this issue. B ite ka news ka manika kon ite ya read. Ibrahim Jarol ka news ka manika kon lol fana ya read. Ñun be feniti me amon ko mol ka kala mo ko mel be ke banko kan. So they may want to come and say ko alinga media stifle information men ka bondi amantol favor at this time. So ninga you control ibajela ko ito information and people cannot be informed, so that they will be able to vote again. So it will be maybe at about GB come from that angle. But I am saying that is doing more damage to the government. Because the thing is, Mansakunda fananga keta nyawanyang ya kukendo lel sote kamelke. Ubika baino. You understand? Nita ko ini media le kelo wulindi. Ita ko ibe senso kanne. There are media houses fanameli along ko bi ka Mansakunda la kukendo lel bondi. Right? And nita ko maybe ite amira ko okay, GRTS wala nini ilay media household. Okay, alanga dama wal adi wal damala because kana kukendo lel bondi. Ninko anna register wal bina le register. Wal kana kukendo lel bondi. But alonko coming up for this age, social media age, it will control Nola. Ninda lafta be in na Facebook Live and whatever, Omar Bah sa kenole, it is a kenole, even Kerfatu. Well, how are you going to regulate Kerfatu? Nikata online. The only thing you can do is to go to the Miafeko, Allah Jang Albedam Jang Hajo, is it Bruce B or Tranquil, Alcana program okajang. But in an online program, kuno water. And people will get access to information whether you like it or not. So it told maybe it will buy Jibekan from that angle, na media sensor. So that information menka futa monuma akana futa especially batame anonka nyati in Gambia. But on the other side, whether you like it or not, nimbe futa lale. And at the end of the day, near media journalists will come from the kama. Ifan kama. Membina kila wole moko, most of them will go against you because it ila fem bondi la fenkenda monila. Ila fenja wodoro ye mensoto ye bole gadale ya bondi because you are limiting, they are trying to control them. So it doesn't make sense politically to Barrow, and I hope Barrow and people around him will put sense in him to tell him that people around him will put sense in to tell him that look, this man is just trying to damage your political career. Ila electoral chance abole damage kang. It is not going to do you anything good. But maybe Barrow Fanankajelo is mere political science like currently, maybe because you see, I mean, I cannot even tell Ning Munamala rationality. Pure cannot regulate. Pure have capacity to even regulate journalists in the Gambia. What capacity do they have to do that? That's the fundamental question.
Omar mbe nyini kaka numenna janning mbe choko sotla internet la karola wala mu kambe ngoni kankilia membe kibar janjam bundal la karola. Comme nga fay nyame nga kibaro mutanu lado ko ya de telephone ka modo lu delete ke bondi WhatsApp group do. Albe lori nyoy nyaadi la nyin ko do.
No, journalists all can killing wale bembulo. Of course, ntafola no journalists all be better la can killing ne. Wo man so do hanidula. Dolbe je hanini lafta ka tara GPU ko maita kela no because of ikaduko ke dulagminto. Marika je la hani television mini along private television dol mini along they are perceived to be pro government. Ikaje ila modul ka fintile hani la WhatsApp or to Facebook or to can you condemn Kafoko ite sonna. Of course, it is a media household force la pour GPU comma. But ndol lafta minna wala journalist will phone. Ning wol loda nyoye na GPU support na tare comma. Ning ala sonta ning ko lafta ke nyami abekala wala nyami because at the end of the day, power belongs to the people, not just government or one individual. Power belongs to the people, and the majority carries the vote. So memim folk and walem Gambiano mini along even yinko follow kan yanka understand na leko journalist all mang fensoto inim man sakunda tema imang problem man sakunda man problem soto ndol man tara man sakunda keleka ndol la problem moment walem na nyanto be wale kelekan andul laftan na nyanto wo man sakunda ye wo respect Dr. Sisi anala ministry and impure ye wo respect na min fo ye walem alna regulation o tambini ni media council la mi yalon alota alla watole abeje very genuine people lo lebeje independent and very genuine people al sembo dila ye media regulate alwa dila ye media regulate ndol nga wala nyinin kay bulu mantara ñu sabo kan mantara kelo kan ma fo kan docteur anim pura ko ndol man la fi pura yentol register andu wote kala ndol min yalla mbalanta fantastic na fo nga na mainche no hani kacha ta dawoda wonde sonna wal na kacha the only kacha ampareta min kala wala ni ye kacha media council koto and regulate but sonna wala the other thing is Dr. Nyantami understand and before that memin follow wala the only victim is there in this is Barrow comme Essa Njie Barrow is the only victim impression of min dikana is a wrong impression. There was a time for Koma demanding a media dole blacklist. And then he moved down with a very senior man in government. Akonye ko Barrow kabriya nyininka about this. Ako modole nada. Atafola atatofola but nada akaiko. We have to do this to punish them. Minister lem or anybody but more they are fine. Agade man fenlo nje ikanale ya fine. So Barrow nak anyanta nya yelele. Ayala tulo fana yele. Ayala
mbaɗigolu mbe foka internet ola membe diamu kanje wole mu Omar Bah atele mu news editor di Standard newspaper ngatele ning Essa Njie soto jang Essa Njie political science lecturer University of the Gambia num political analyst la fana mati ka diamu banko kola politico karola anim fanna katongol nito lelbe jang atol membe moy ka radio de Gambia banko kangal be moy kam Vibes FM le 106.1 FM atol membe njibe kan dalto internet ola ni bitulo lem sa fale ko Sakata ale subscribe na channel to na bitilo channel to for YouTube, Facebook, lembang. We are having a challenge with the network.
With the network. But can I just wrap up?
I think Ismaila Nyanda Njie from regulate later with this terrible network system in the Gambia. I'm talking about this.
Yeah. Ngamari sota jal last time abanam de problem ko internet ko ko Ismaila Njie lolo ñina fa ko wala dan katambi ko ka journalist wala rek but Omar you were saying something ibe fenne nga bakanji
no mbemi focal rek walem Barrow comme atelem victime de ñing koto nga wo fole already so comme kamin fo non don tani mo nimbol ka diamu government la including senior people in government so ika foyele there was a time comme kamin fo a program or a plan or wulindi a message will send head of institutional except in state also ka foye ko don't give advice to standard to Fatu, Kirfatu, to Void, and few other media houses. Kafwe can advert with dealer. Come here, sensor. But it can bring cold Uro in Seattle. More other Baroya and Yininka fire. Look, this is not a good idea. And now you go Baroko, Eko. Look, they in Adale, Konyako, Nake, so that when you punish, they will back down. Just imagine that. You might like a Ninkaja C5. So I think that it's high time for Nyayele, Tulfana, Lonko, journalist bala mansa kundale koto ndol mu Gambia dingol le ti koma keta Gambia dingoti nyami Gambia president no tante bankoti president no banko fangole sembo dila ye sembentu ya ye place dila so ite mu bindanol ti baro mu telam bindanol ti ilam bindanol en esalam bindanol so the moment I will understand ate batal aba understand la go look nyimol ilafta minna amanke ilafta mingo minna nyanta wala kala de ba ni lafta minna nyanta sila le nga jube fo wala banko la kairoti bang fo le banko sambala nyaatu ay wo jube janne abe decision o tala mi ya long soma asa batandi mi ya long probably la nyina la fa bo nyin dunya ko so in fok ala afana ya ala hakilo ta ala time ta aka call verify fo no kana na kandrong ay atawo nyam ay act ay careful bage ni minister do la mi ya long ila on agenda be wode push kan pour ay respect pour ay trust because momo na fengo wulin direct ala interest o lebe so doctor interest o lebe nyinto jogu bala interest o lebe nyinto ni abi ya wulin so Barrow nyanta fana na interest o jubela ay journalist la moy ika min for 5 cents megle faman cents make ndega min fay wala journalist ko lafta ali ye regulate bari lafta media council le regulate hani nalma wo media council trust de kacha no le se modol nyini ye londi ngeke media council ti ali ye sementu wa loi la through the national assembly ye media regulate ndol lafta wal bari man la fi pura e mo regulate lafta boroy wala understand and momo minde man sakunda lafta wala understand nde wala mun mako mot
Omar Janimbe bula la janine to ko be jam fala ko teke nimbi ibe ministre yamar la nyin kota ibe mu yamar la falay
Dr. Nimba Yamarla Mbafla listening to the masses. Ayela moy mo jamal la kumol. Very important. Akana la interest jube wala mansakunda la interest from. Because mansakunda la interest from nyanta ke la mol la interested. Ni mansakunda ning mol la interest mandara sila kilindrom. Mansakunda la wo interest man na fason because then it's self-serving. Aka mol le serve mini ala ibe mansakunda ani la interest. And ni mansakunda je aya nyakili ngoku sifala ala laban dula buka bete niye man sakundaje aya nyakili wo silola ala laban buka bete andu nim man sakunda la ko katinya ken e ka wrong policies le nati minu ya long ibuke la implication long hani mi ya long e ka lafika sisule jamme ya kele before 2016 sport county ada for some point aya miracle ate jino le ka kartu fair ako nga sport county. So he was testing the waters. He failed. They could fail with this. So they need to be very careful and calculate every measure that they are taking before it's too late.
Akamda ko Dr. Cisse Kanyina ko he's a coalition partner. At a phenomenal fansum politician, he was in the opposition and he joined President Adama Barrow Grand Coalition. But ngamira nakini nga menna wala muko foi jikita la ko President Adama Barrow boda nyinko kalamale anda ba ko fanan support kane because nyaje ngo there are few signs many items ko at least at the level of the government at the central level nyomo yo mantaraje comme nga fa nyamen ka kono nga jele lawyer bota Minister of Justice menketa kismadi Ministry of Justice lawyer la mabe doko kika masa kundala doko bundala mebe madan tilingo kola birata ta mabe Dr. Cisse la nyimbengo to minister bunda nyintoyala ay même banque kinabato mobiya moy wala mu ko ako nyin kukuto me alon ko Dr. Cisse la faka wala dundi ani loi manta. Could this be something Dr. Cisse be men kunkilin tamakan or do you believe that President Adama Barrow is in support of this move?
Fali mota fono la ko Barrow da mantara nyimta mantara support kan. Barrow is the president of the Gambia. For God and heaven's sake, it's melatina.
But call fanan kaknole manyo kalamuta.
No, kanale. Nying po nyimbeta la bi. Anin scientist at least I lokum fula nyon sila, right? Omar, I think I lokum fula sila. Barrow is the president of the Gambia. Barrow, what he will tell Ismail is that simple. Nyim withdraw. We are not going ahead with this. So mokana is Mr. Barrow. I don't remember the caring his member je wolem Omar Kamemfo. Barrow is somebody like you mentioned last time. Excuse my language, but very incompetent. So more like an ikafu because he can be for more he's a very good listener. This is very dangerous. A very good listener. Gambiano kafu a very good listener. So it's never been a lining idea for Congo. Media household. I know the man, I've worked with him. In media household, target reality now you have to go standard kerifatu I Africa atole bina register so iba generalize la so mo be dun trapo nyin kono so ni ismaila nyin la ismaila baytan dalako this is good for you because iba jela ko be control lale not to regulate them but be control lale. At the end of the day, in his own head, in his own wall, this is going to be in my interest, while it is damaging to him electorally. But Nina Rajibe Ismail Biako, in his own work, regulate. A media house will regulate content member publish. 2013, you remember, and then it be contemporary Gambian politics and culture as a course. Ismail remember that? Then he was doing his PhD. Ismail use of Francoton. Not only beside journal articles by Professor Sen, Dr. Ibrahim Cisse, but he was also giving us materials from Freedom newspaper. Digital articles from Freedom newspaper at the time. Now that regulation at the time for Wolibian Takela. ko be control ni ko min tin tollate muna fameno article ndol tol sorala no. But even under a dictatorship, jammena la ko be amanye regulation si na ka fa ko government body wala be journalist or register la albita register jamme with all these things amanye nke. So if Ismail is coming today, I think he benefits from economic freedom. Give the devil his due. Anala ko be what time at the UTG contemporary Gambian politics hani the late Saja Talwo momon haje ka tigno Ismail da mala ka tigno. Top critical topics Gambian to seminal organized the UTG Ismail la class in critical topics in the Gambia at the time. The withdrawal from the Commonwealth, the severance of ties with one, Ismail la led no. So critical issues man ko mujama ka sile la Ismail ko discourse la hani contemporary Gambian politics and culture class. Sometimes from ala class ko ne ka sila from NIL be katara jeba. So ite ye woli be soto fonata bi abe sila mbo sila nya ko na nyawnya. Ndol nite be akodo ko fom fota bito. Ite nata fuita kita Minister of Information di. Ngami dite nyanta kudole mirala rather than restricting freedoms. And in your freedom restricting the media, the next target could be even academic freedom. You understand? So nde from an academic point of view as somebody in academia, nde be njeka wole nya wala na some journalists ni mel diam dango ko. This might be you today, come Omar Bah nyame, but the next could be us. Who knows? Nimbaro binda because ndeka memfu baro is testing the waters. And journalists will be nyando. Once they succeed with this, media freedom is dead in the Gambia. And the next target could be academia. Ibemel target la wole million ko karandila because ndolibe keta nyawanya ka diamu no media tole. Because we have that academic, even in our classroom space, we talk there, we have that academic freedom. So at the end of the day, Barrow is aware of this fully, even though some cabinet members or maybe some influential people in government, because yala Ismail a member like me atina from model budget content na la kola. Wala mko ateni la keba. Sometimes I don't even want to mention his name, Momodu Sabali. These are people many along ko lot of kumateji nendirteji mam for Baroma. Literally, ni naton tola moya Karola. Eko alifa nyaton ko puruka bunya. Nyunu nendirteji mam for Baroma. Kuma kan jawteji mam for Baroma. Be wole kana si man sakunda ko ka barobla meskom. So many along ko, especially those people, many along ko yening freedom of thought. People like Ibrahim Silla and other people many along ko e beta kilo ko ne benu exile. For natam fotateni state to be. Wole nyanta sila iten de baro to nya fa ko.
Okay.
Ni mantara kilo kono and na malong membeta affect la. At the end of the day, na continue tanyina it's going to affect your election.
Okay, Omar, the last question nga mention today, coming Essa Foka nyaming, you know, mo jamal be jemi do mutaribulu wala muko President Adama Barrow is a tolerant person. Mole me alon ko ay democracy fasale, mole me alon ka ke lamoyle, mole me alon ko adunyo waratale. Bari ninna ka ngani nyong fancy falije ibe findi kan banko kan, you know, many baitan di kan ko coming tumando bato nga memuta num President Adama Barrow la koro aning kool membi findi kan manke klinti farata nyolale basically be nyini ka kam menna wala muko beso ni ka diamu ministre mo ko tangol meni man sakunda kono anim fane la cross do na ko daje yamuta ko Dr. Cissé la loi pabita adula ban. Do you think this will go anywhere or do you think eventually ibe Dr. Command Cissé command la karale e ga ko ke ni ko tuje follow?
Yeah, comme nga fo nyami atuda president ole bulu because comme esa ya fo nyami ngalong abe cool observe kan ata fo la man fen kala mutaje saingo ngabere momo mi man sekunda ya kala mutale momo mi be Gambia fana min kan news follow equal kala mutale so saingo atuda tele because I'm sure minister dote wulla no jana eta Dr. Cissé ya fa nyinti ja ko yalla ni Dr. Cissé long mini ya long mini wol kacha e ka fo ele na FM muta ka mutaje
He's powerful in this cabinet. Exactly. I can tell you for free.
So I'm powerful in this cabinet. So, Bari Barrow, Namera Minister Dol Minialong, ya believe like Ning, ake favor la. Amanke for the fee, Manana Diamula Barrow just in the context of election, just in the context of the election year. Yanda Diamula ko this generally Ning Amanke Lua can vote. Hani ni atara continue tale wala mbotaje minga ni lua sifa bulajang abe to kuyale assembly ite kan ite mi ala ite president because mol ite Ibrahima Silla nyol tofala ibati le tofala kabrin jamme boda ngamra jomma ko mole fo kamba jamme government so avana boda ja ni women bula jang lu akurumoti ba point la tele kam barola man sakundala duwa so ndo anda pana nyanta mi realize ko yemin for the past years kabrin atenata for be ngamra media freedom ave selekan retino be selekan every year aka selela bukaji so wodrong mo ala pentolti so ate anyamto wole jubela ya lonko ninin loi ya forcé to push ya forcé to landije ate la rating ala media freedom rating on la man sekunda obi jila janate janni election probably in the next media freedom index ni work at a woman to people. So I don't know this is not just about the election, is just not about journalists, it's about him as a president. Ko nabe bola jang anyanta luwa le bola jang mi yalo luwa abekala luwa kendo let so that ni modo nata kita wala place ota wote luwa le tra ya mi yalo ate Gambianol ate will use the Gambianol naka especially journalists on mi yalo ike command the fourth states, one of the most important institutional Gambia jang. So atuta atele bulu until like I said, the GPU is open in the Purka dialogue, in parade in the Hani Soma in Dr. Pareda, in a dialogue. But what dialogue after I focus on the media council. Iman lafi ning lua jawol mini along pure wolle dada iman lafi wol kachal because it will mampare pure into regulate. So ning Dr. Pareda sita I fongo jube I call be jube I ela moy Gambiano like a minfo. Apareta kela moy GPU la I meet no command GPU be parade in kacha about the media council but in nothing else because GPU ndiamuta nim president no diamuta ning secretary general diamuta and they made that absolutely clear in Dr. Lakacha about the media council how to improve it legally but nothing else. They are not going to subdue to these pure laws. What is clear. So I hope Doctor is listening wala ni modo ba la moikan aya inform. Now when we be diamu kan before any question about journalist dole minu bondi, li modol minu bondi group because later I realized like mol ka fengol share online. Dolla kacha personal group ngam organized as journalists. Dol be jemini like information leak. Namin realize information model be jemini they are working for government because neither Ministry of Information Act information officer you are working for government. Either you are not independent. Either you cannot even comment in that group because ni comment ibe silale ni comment mo bo sela comment no sen and ni la minister ya jabe bayla so na wol bondi je because of course they work in the information ecosystem but they are not journalists now they are not independent because you cannot work for a ministry and claim to be an independent journalist. That is not possible. So na wole realize na wol bondi je and I think this is a genuine move. Dol fongo ya advocate a long time ago. For more information, you will bond. They can have our emails. Ni after they share with us, that's fine. But in terms of group or me along the personal group or the kachaki damning about our welfare, you cannot have government officials there. It's not safe, it's listed. So I only realized, I will bond because saying Tonya Fali, there are concerns that this government is blindfolded towards a dictatorship. They are showing some tendency of dictatorship. And that should concern every Gambian. Whether you like it or not, for me, this is how I see it. Because no democratic government will come up with such laws on our current situation. No serious government or no serious president will watch a minister come up with laws like this. For me, that's my point. That's how I see it.
Mbari ngolu hani bi kala kelo ndoron ko al nim biti lole mo atome be moy ka radio Gambia banko kalbe moy kam 5 FM le 106.1 FM ning Omar Bah standard newspaper news editor la be jang ading Essa Njie political science lecturer political analyst PhD student America banko kanjang karande ngol mati jang atol men fana ben jibe kan albel na moy kan men sudiara mo kemelulu la nga wollel soto nyintem ben be kafurimma nsafale ko alse nyinin karolu selendi nabal bulu mbe kilim fulatanu ra jannim bita nyinin kar la ba men soto Essa la fanga ben de jibe wala mu ni misal fe fango nyin ko ta da dinta lota let's assume that Dr. Cissé nyin ko forcer fo a forcer londi banko kam nyimbe tamano la nyaadi sa ko ye kataku be kataku kan kaje ko ye social media user register mol men yalon ko lel be TikTok Facebook anin bla ko tangol because aka memfo nen role men ka TikTok Facebook anin bla ko tangol do ninte pareta ka kujawke man sakunda tan demudan wala ndita nga fake account do yele memem fala ngafo man sakunda ta kuno la woto yaje wokola fanan man sakunda ma sembo soto fonga iko ka sile ka Facebook tin social media be monitor to mbedda men to jibe kan ning hanata no fonga man sakunda ni nyori le se fonga Dr. Cissé ni nyori a forcer londi banko kam ibe nyin ko tamandi no la nyaadi
just the situation is just going to be volatile because at the end of the day man safana nyanta kamala so man sa ni luwa sama nang luwa nyanta bunya la right but yo luwa sama na melialon ko at the end of the day ya sama nang pour banku dingol man pare ka luwa nyim bunya abe menkeli la wole ko nyo sabo an confrontation between the government and the citizens, especially media la karola come ya fanyamen even implement no la nyamen without the cooperation or collaboration of media practitioners or journalists in the Gambia and media houses in general abe kole abalele so membita kila wole ko nga ba iba dundi la le nato nunka wokta yeta fo ya dundi well I know for certain journalists will be they will comply and register. So media houses, in fact, will be more encouraged to do that. But I am certain also there are some journalists many are going to sonaka register because I've talked to a few journalists many I don't know there's no way it will be registered with pure. Sign abe man sakunda fongo ko fendila. At the end of the day, yelu wan samanang pour banko dingol ko manda fenkala and yuta kuke no lela. Because come ya fanyameng TikTok ndese hande esa nin sita jambi nga fenko yele because nyimbe dama mulbe I mean some are in the diaspora. Mulsa TikTok, mulia Facebook account, mulia TikTok account, sort of mendiate sa phone. Sometimes you cannot read those people. But come here for nyameng, hani mol of tasita fake account o yele no. Me alon ko italo na jumaleng. I mendiata ayafo at the end of the day to kumuleke. So wala tina men kumata wala mko nyinkula manya na ka force okay. I think what is important is for Ismaila ala arrogance nyin drop, ala ego swallow, and you see ayatan dila ko okay. Ali memfo albolole. Let us empower the media council in parliament. As Omar said, this is good for the legacy of Barrow and all that, right? But come niajibe Omar, this is beyond election. But niajem to look over jibe, ita kamen be someone and come kafoko, okay, ila reputation, ila legacy, nyulubika kuole jibe onyama. Ita ka jibe nyakafu, nyulmo politician loyalty. I mean, I think you've been so idealistic, right? Nyulubika jibe nyakafu ko ideally yalo ninga nyinke abentu fentendele internationally, better reputation men sotol and all that. Nyulubika kuole jibe, nyuluka election ole jibe, politika itolka jibe le membe kunabi. So ning Ismaila Nata, I fem for Barrow ka itandala ko nyine be mako that was the election. Barrow bole tala bole tabala international reputation ning or global standing abole sacrifice la. He would rather sacrifice that than pour election or lose. So ite can membe for the new people wala nang kajibe in that context. Alanga jibe ko ito ba jibe kanyaming so that we are all on the same page, right? Because these people don't care about that. Kafoko because nya jibe B. Barrow reputation men soto globally with the change of government in 2017. I call Mel Baker. Look, just imagine what happened with Usain Bojan in the Usain Bojan case. Deliberately, will do be men on ko man better, but he man care. Nimpreso mantaro na Barrow, that boy was still going to be in mile 2 with the sister. So it will man care will be la mimbeka for bantajana. It can make it and the and I can tell you this: Ismaila will come make it and the Barola. Look, in your case, these things are normal. In church, they are normal. Even internationally, the International Federation of Journalists can come and say whatever. These things are normal. Government survives on these things. So but it's important for election win because at the end of the day, come Omar Bah, Ismaila will people like Ismaila, you'll be like interest lebe Barrow stay beyond 2026. It will alone Gambia be detele bulu nyameng nimbaro botaje science and thing. So at the end of the day is the individual interest in the men fight camp. But finally come a question or just to answer. Abe kole ya bala le pour implement ni journalists on the media house on mampareka cooperate with the government on this. So the best thing is
Essa killing of come. Ninta fonga ni misal fe mo Gambia doti bari mo Gambia doti nkati ya mo Gambian kola bari ntata ngana mbesa batini let's say Europe kono America ngana social media yela what right does the government even have to regulate me basically
exactly
manna social media yela Gambia Gambia is not part of the monetization platform also for YouTube and Facebook lembam. So ninte ka kodo kodi soto wodo fongo government winning government fongo nyo soto mena fongo la. Andu niya jibe ni beto nya fala nyoy. A lot of people men ka diamu Gambia lini election ko la Gambia politico Gambia ko la.
Gambia.
So I don't know why iko ka fenne fix me alon ka mantinya iko ka dale ka fenne de da mantinya anyway
mantinya so membe je fana the other thing is only just finally no disrespect but Ismaila ministry do kuta bulje you understand the man has no job to do. The thing is, Akamenke no do wala in press conference bambalolte. Then he came with this idea of Mansakunda because Ministry of Information. Because look, nato nunko ko purka dia Mansakunda to yala. We have a government spokesperson. Menka have a PhD in India. I don't even know how that is. You have a press secretary at the State House. Your former boss. Then you have the Ministry of Information. Literally, these people have no job. And remember, Ismaila, he's just damaging himself because from what I'm able to gather from reliable sources, anyabe ministry do lelka memanke information because I'll not do kutabuli. But doing these things, it America barole please. Maybe I consider those persons. No, baro baje kan ko he Ismaila da do ko kende bala ke kante. Atel ni mol ka to kelola nde sign the phone be relaxed na mol ka tele nenga tel ni mol be nyu sabala. So he's rather going to keep you in this position. So when you think that it be baro impress kanne, I maybe a palasido dealer, maybe foreign affairs lembang, maybe for high education lembang, maybe mala ministry juman be memfala kotenke for public service lembang or whatever or works lembang. But in fact, you are damaging yourself. You're giving every reason to the man. Puru kaje ka confidence seto, kaje ko Ministry of Information area ti. And again, Ismaila Londo does a battle in media kola. The guy has no clue. Ulan nang funding kanyang for always. It's important. Ngakala foko ministers are political appointees. Ngada woto. Manjari minister Londo. Munane Dr. Samate appoint as Minister of Health because wala mala area ka kita nyawnya. Kodi abota Dr. Kundale fanang Dr. Kundale Prof Gomez point. Prof Gomez, well, among higher education study specifically as a field, but the higher education normal area ta do ko like for how many years? Munana ye finance minister CD aketa nyawnyang for whatever accountancy or whatever, but at least the little bit of knowledge sort of ma fa ngal munane minister dul appoint beli alon ko yajo ko ñunu muna area alti wala ne keje Dr. Habibatu Drabe, even though basic education specifically mankala area, but education at least from the university. So
they are all delivering.
Yeah, what do la do ika wol jibe so Ismaila menke data la situation wala mko a jeunda baro kan ne baro ya jibe don ko bulanga dula jibe membe vacancy be damen do nga sama nje nga apuje but not necessarily that he has any idea amalo media katama nyame amam fellonje wala nan ko hani regulation or control, I call it a control document. Ismaila sees a control document, media control document. That's the name I will give it. Ismaila did not read this, and he has no idea. He has no clue what he's talking about.
Omar, Essa Njie wole munda luntamati jang nzafo liro sutiara tongola sio fana mera Omar mbebula la eta bari jandimbo kelanga nyinin kardanta nusoto kabo molu bulu la faka wolu jibe katabake nyindo bota el minte le bulu el minte ben jibe kam Facebook le ako I don't have a question. I want to make a comment regarding the program. It's very educative and interesting. You always bring guests that contribute to the intellect and awareness of your audience. However, it will be good to open the lines and accept some questions. Okay. We'll be hakilima ken dorong ako tumando ba dong kalilano yele mol fana yemen be jibe lokke kam e fana ye double programme odo wo mu hakilima ku kende balati mben hakilo tula jele nga jibe fana mbo kol kafuno le nyamen na kata kolu kono lamin sanyam be nyinin kaka Omar ngamere nyinin karo mu iteldi ako is there any media house that is not part of the boycott fokki ba janjam bunda be jele yemel long menu mantara bamburu Gambia Press Union koma nying load late menta eni nying Mansakunda be nying Dr. Ismaila Sisela be nying kelo men kono teng. Omar, you want to take that question, Omar?
Is that for me?
Yes, Omar, it is for you. You can answer that. Ako for
No. man la fi
Omar ibe moy kan ba?
no nga question o understand me malam fo be moy me moy kan ha malam fo nga question o understand nga mira ay min nyinin ka walem fo nga media household lo ne min yalo ngi mantra GPU ko man nyin kelo ko di
ha
Kodi.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So until kabrin GPU ye boycott on announce.
Yeah, mbe ko lasur ka internet lo karola esa bari sa fana camera be sorondine ni sama ko edoro ye camera ni yele hani bi mbe tenten na nyini karo dulla ngamen sore jan nyindo ko nyimboda lamin jale bulata ben jibe kan internet YouTube le ako Dr. Cisse is trying to please President Barrow nga seni sengor soto woko perfect nomenclature esa ko elections have consequences. So we have a lot of people men ben jibe kan mo bebe la miro sata kan kachato bealam ko be wala soto kanjang ba fule ko ala baraka bake. Thank you very much indeed. Omar yeah, ngamira time ben kala dorom.
I think I need to go now. Say
thank you very much you wata min ka kafuma iten esabe ni ngatra kuma labam bal bulu tumando bato na kakamu kita de mendo al jigita ka kumata al lafta fola al safo weken sarato di na mobe je. Thank you very much. Omar,
just to
you, Omar.
Maybe I can come in. Omar is just so just to finally say ko
Hello Fally, we berapo kan ne ko de.
In struggle, this struggle to get rid of the Barrow government, the Jammeh government, was a collective struggle. It was a collective effort. And menka dimina wara falli wala muko million ko either they were with the system Jammeh time wala man contribute fund in terms of voting. Well, I wouldn't say ko Ismaila mang tarakelo ko whatever ala part kele at the university, but hani carte fayo me Jammeh bondi jam carte fayo Ismaila mang carte fay. Okay, I remember when Ismaila was shortly before the 2016 election, he told personally, he told me ko initially akonye ko Jammeh be winnale. I was like, no, but akonye ko no, akonye okay. I said lose no le barna lose ta. I remember vividly, to be honest, nak akonye ko I said lose no le barna lose ta so nakaji. This was something he told me. So they could not even believe. I remember when the results were, when it was announced that Jammeh conceded. I was at the CSO Coalition House at Paradise Hotel. Ismaila called me personally, and he was like, Essa, this happened? Really? Jammeh lost? Yes, it happened. Because it will be malan unkabe kelele. And when that happened, I think a week or two later, I flight a ticket to Gambia. So these are people who did not even believe that Gambians were going to remove Jammeh through the ballot. So nimbi wol kana si ka fobe mol control la media nyanda tamala nyamen to la society nyanda tamala nyamen in terms of freedom of expression, freedom of the media and all that. It's really disheartening and rather unfortunate.
Bari ngolu ngali jay ngal tentu alla la moy kuñi makang al ning alla jibe kuñi makang alal badi malum falli fadera Essa Njie Omar Bah Standard Newspaper news editor aning Essa political science lecturer University of the Gambia wolel munu na lundawti jambi ngal beje ngal tentu ale wato menda kakafu maseni sengor nyinin karo mengi ko fo SIS dabe vetting process nyin kono ba SIS is part of it indeed, the state intelligence agency eko ibe clearance sot lale prove you have to undergo a security clearance ninga tara ibe sula la accreditation la kamabe kodo la comme ka background check la kodo esa menkera senidi bari ngal be jey ngal tento ale wato menta ka kafu majang alamati lo to diala alamambe tankala katani kadato la APS International wala blobe nabiti lo kibaro koro ala baraka.
You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera.